I'm confused. What are we doing? Are we knowing or are we yang? What's happening? I like it.
What I'm not going to do is comfort you.
Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in to Tackling Tomfoolery. I am Malika Rogers.
And I'm A.M. Lewis.
You know, I just want you all to know that we just spent the last 20 minutes bullshitting
and chatting our asses off.
We had
everything and nothing.
Whole ass conversation that didn't have a damn thing to do with today's topic. And that's what happens because we don't have a producer today because he is ill. And so we just sort of have run amok. We got on this call at 6:30. It is 7:13. And we're just now starting to record because we are raggedy. And we started talking about all kind of stuff that had nothing to do with anything. So anyway, we are.
But that was a pre-show. I think that could have been a show. It was entertaining.
I feel like it was
entertaining to us.
And it just might end up somewhere in here or somewhere. I don't know, but whatever. I bet we're not the only ones who have this issue. That just means that our whole conversation might be a little shorter than usual today because we already had a whole ass conversation. Or two. True. We had like 3 or 4 conversations, truthfully. Really and that,
this is how 45
it goes. Minutes. You know.
One thing spills into another thing, spills into another
thing. Exactly.
45 minutes later, you're finally recording.
And then Bob's your uncle. I don't really know what that saying means.
I don't know what that means
people
either,
say it
but
at the end of a series of events. And then there you have it. Bob's your uncle. I don't have an uncle named Bob.
That was Bob,
I don't know Bob. I don't know who he is.
In my family.
I don't have an aunt or uncle named Bob, so I don't know. But anyway,
cousin.
We're so glad you tuned in. This is our second week back of season 3. Woo woo. And so, I guess we'll get cracking with some highs and lows.
Checking out the fellas, the highs and lows.
So, unfortunately, the high I thought I was going to have did not happen. This is day 11 or 12 in my complex with no hot water or heat. And so they told us today would be the day that we could stop taking whole baths and at least stop taking whole baths without having hoed to get the bath. But they lied, and now it's going to be tomorrow. So that is one of my lows, that I am in here cold, because I really thought I was fixed to be in here toasty and feeling free and fancy and freshly showered for no reason. I would have just taken a shower just because I could. Instead of standing over some water I boiled on the stove like a fucking pioneer. So, anyway, the low is that I'm cold and I'm sick of boiling water to do everything. I feel like I'm fixing to deliver somebody's baby all the time. Quick, boil some water, get some towels. But now when we say it, it's just so that we can whole bath it and go out in public. So anyway, that's a low. The other low I wanted to quickly talk about was this sister who ventured into a Saks Fifth Avenue in Michigan so she could stock up on her expensive items. She spent $6,700 on some designer bags, a keychain, and a belt, and some other things. And then the police, she paid for the items. She paid for them. She used her business credit card and cash and paid for her $6,700 worth of items. But before she could get out of the door, the security and the police came and accused her of credit card fraud because, of course, her black ass couldn't possibly be buying up $6,700 worth of stuff. Because where would a colored gal get that kind of money? So, obviously, it did not go well when they approached her. And so then later on, the representative from the store called her and said, "Our bad, we're so sorry. Please come. We will refund you your money and you can keep the items for free."
Of course.
And she said, "I'm going to need you to kiss my entire black ass. I now have an attorney and fuck you." And so that is all I know about the story so far. But of course, it is nothing new. We are being profiled and followed around stores and spoken to as if we couldn't possibly afford anything that didn't come out of Forever 21. And shout
Right.
out to Forever 21 because I do like it there. But still,
Mhm.
there's the assumption made that if one is black, he or she doesn't have any money, any means, can't possibly have any access to anything high end. So I thought it was some bullshit. I mean, it is some bullshit.
It is some bullshit.
And
It
I can't
is.
wait to see the end result now that this woman has secured herself an attorney because she did not come to play any game with these people. And I'm sure when they called with the "I'm sorry" and "that's not how we do business," of course it's how you do business. Um, I mean, a sales clerk called on her. Somebody making $2 an hour called and tried to tell on a woman because she had $1 or $2 in her pocket, and you felt some kind of way about
Okay.
it, and she had the nerve to be black, and you are a lowly clerk. I mean, nothing wrong with being a clerk, but I'm sure that's how the
You can't
person
shop in there.
conceptualized it. You can't
Mm,
afford to have $6,700 worth of anything, and how
yeah.
dare this black woman come in here? So I bet that person still works there though. But
Of
anyway,
course they do.
um, probably
You
got
know, they were
promoted.
probably quiet as kept following company policy.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Quiet as kept.
So I'm gonna be following this story and coming back to it to see what happens with that. But yeah, that didn't like that. It wasn't as low for me personally as being cold um at home, but
I
it
can
was a low.
understand that.
And high. Well, Christmas was 2 days ago, and I was not all that excited about Christmas. I'm rarely excited about Christmas. I don't hate it like some people might, but I just am kind of just indifferent. I don't care. There's a kid in the house, so we have to um, do a tree and feign.
All the traditional
Yeah, we got to
Christmas
feign
stuff.
some kind of excitement.
Mm,
Um, So I do that, but really, I wouldn't care if there were no tree. I like a tree when I feel like it, and if I don't feel like it that year, then I'm good with not having a tree. I wanted to draw a tree on several pieces of construction paper and put it up on the wall, but
mm.
nobody else was with it. I thought it was a fun idea. Nobody cared what I thought.
They
So
were
I
like,
do
no.
have a dead ass tree in my living room right now with things hanging from it. It's
Mm,
cute, but I didn't want to. So anyway, I did enjoy the day because I got to do a combination of staying at home and chilling and eating my own food for my
mm,
house, which all I did was make breakfast. A good,
mm,
solid, eat all day breakfast. And then later on in the evening, went and hung out with family for a bit. And that was a good time. Like
mm,
it was nice. Everybody was chilling. I didn't eat a whole dinner over there because I've been eating all morning,
mm,
but I did have some peach cobbler and some potato pie, two things that make me incredibly happy, and they were both delicious. So
mm.
that made Christmas
Wonderful.
so that was my high for the week. What about you, AM?
Um, Similarly, My high was the holiday, and similarly, I don't love Christmas. Sometimes I'm cool with it. Sometimes I'm indifferent, and sometimes I just want it to be over.
Mm-hmm.
This was an I just want it to be over
Mm-hmm.
year, and there's no rhyme or reason to it, really. It just, sometimes I'm in a better mood for it, and sometimes I'm not.
Yep.
And I just really I was over it before. Shit, I was over Christmas after Halloween when all the Christmas shit started going up, okay? And I was like, it's not what, we're still waiting for it. It's not over yet. So, to my delight, the actual holiday was lovely. It was low key.
Nice.
My mom pulled a bait and switch, I feel,
Uh-oh.
and told us to come over on Christmas Eve at 6. So I'm like, oh, we're gonna have dinner. It's Christmas. Okay, no, that means I'm gonna chill hella hard on Christmas Day.
Yes.
And binge shit and be in my pajamas and toasty and chill. Well, that's not how it happened.
Oh boy.
We went over there on Christmas Eve to unwrap gifts. Yay.
Oh, all right.
Then we went back on Christmas Day at 4 and 8, but it was actually real chill and real cool. We opened the gifts, we drank some cider, we kikied and chit-chatted and whatnot. Dinner was delicious. Roast and greens and yams and stuff. No turkey, no ham. But that roast was popping. And I had a 4-day weekend, so it's kind of like what you said, was a good combination of like family,
right?
Cool, and also me doing fat bunches of nothing and relaxing and watching hella Netflix and HBO and Amazon, and it was cool. My low was going back to work on Tuesday. I didn't want anything to do with nobody's work, and it caught me off guard. It's a really slow week. It's hella quiet. A lot of people are still out. In a way, it's not a bad day to have to work.
Right.
Nobody's there. I got all of 2 emails, one of which was a response, an auto response to an email that I sent. 2 emails all day long. The other one wasn't even directly to me. It was just some kind of, group thing. Yet and still, I hated everything for probably a smooth first 5 hours of the day.
Yep.
That that was my low. Oh, my other high is Christmas related. I got hella bath and emollient shit. It's so hilarious to me because I know I talk about it a lot, but I didn't realize how much anybody paid that any attention, I think. I got Dr. Teal's from my mom.
Oh, yeah.
I got Nurse Sharon gave me a whole little set. She says it wasn't a Christmas gift. It was a thank you for putting up with me gift.
Oh.
I got some other, like, butters and shit. Allie made a whole, like, it's to do hand and foot stuff. Like, it's shit to put in the water and soak your feet. And she made me a brown sugar scrub. And so,
that's what I'm talking about.
I have all of the smoothie, the soaking, silkening, feeling good, scrubby, rubby shits, and it's amazing.
That sounds
It
delightful.
made me very happy. Yeah, it was. That made me quite happy. So my highs is Christmas was cool with the fam, and I got a lot of skin shits, and my low was, damn it!
I gotta go to work.
I gotta get up and go to work. Traffic was amazing, though. If I may just say, ain't nobody going to work this week. Traffic was a dream.
I still caught the train to work on Tuesday. And Tuesday was a drag. I never thought I'd be so sad to not be doing much at work.
Okay.
But it was so boring. That was the issue for me. Hardly anybody was in the building. I don't need any of those people to do my job. But it was just dry. Lots of people on my team were actually at work. Surprisingly, I thought I'd probably be the only one. My manager was at work, which made me sad. Why are you here? Why aren't you off today? Ugh. But anyway, it was a terrible day. Today, being Wednesday, was much better than the day after. I had my groove going a little bit better today. Yesterday just was rough.
Me too.
I did.
Today was okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
And
It's just
then
that
next week,
one transition.
yeah, and next week for New Year's, I didn't take the day after New Year's Day off, and so I wonder if I will be experiencing the same thing next Tuesday, and I suspect I might. It's my mother's birthday. I usually take that day off to do something with her, but she didn't express any real plans, and so I'm like, well, I'll keep that time off to myself and keep accruing it. And I don't know. Yeah. I feel like I want to just I'm greedy with my time off. Like I'm like a miser, damn near. Because in my head, even though I know it's not going to happen, I'm like, I'm gonna take 6 months off, but I ain't coming back. That's what I say in my head. But I know that's not going to happen. But I do like to just stack the time so that when I really want to do something, it'll happen. I have plenty of time. I'm not worried about it. But maybe I should have taken off next Tuesday.
You know what? I didn't have it off, but I do now.
Yeah.
Because I will be damned. I am not.
Yeah.
What happened yesterday shall not happen again.
I'm seriously thinking about it. It might not. I might just go ahead and sacrifice the day, even though I have no real plans. Payday.
I just don't want to have to go.
Payday is Friday. That means you can kick it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, then rest on Tuesday, then go back for a 3-day week. And I feel much better thinking about that. And then later on in the month will be the King holiday, and then it'll all work out in the wash. You see? Now my shit's coming out. See, I knew it. Jinx, damn it. But I think that might be exactly what I'm going to do, because I feel like that's the way Dr. King would want it. But
you wouldn't be out here for this oppression. You would not. I mean, it's oppressive to go back to work after a 4-day weekend.
It is.
Make it 5 days. He would want it for us.
I feel like you're right. I think it's only fair. I should be somewhere having a drink and maybe doing some kind of low-level daytime hood rat stuff with my friends so that I can be home and in bed at a reasonable time. So, yeah, I kind of think that I will be off on the 2nd. I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. When I first get to work in the morning, I will go ahead and be like, I'm going to need that day off.
You know what else is also dope about it is I think in my building, most people will be back by the 2nd. So they'll all be back and like, oh, shit, and the things, and the job, and work, and shit. Meanwhile, we'll still be chilling.
That's true.
And we'll just jump back in all refreshed and relaxed. That's while true. They'll be frazzled from that first day, and we'll just hop in and like, yay.
Slide on in there.
Y'all was here yesterday? Oh, word? Okay, well.
Let me Sorry for you.
Look, right, that's how you do. Let me see. See what's up. Real cool with it. That's what I want to do. Goals.
I could see that, and I'll be fresh off a delicious night of rest, I think, too. So, yeah.
See?
Yeah, I'm going to use my mom's birthday as an excuse. And I don't even know that I'll be with her on her birthday, because she might want to do hood rat stuff with her friends. But it'll be my reason for taking off. Oh, I will. That's right.
Celebrate her.
I make her a piece
while
of toast.
She's celebrating. There you go.
Yeah, I'll make her some toast or something. Cup of tea. I don't really drink tea, but still. So.
We ain't shit.
Not at all. Tea and toast. I've never known her to have tea and toast for breakfast. Well, I have, though. So today we're going to talk about something that I guess it matters. It certainly matters to me. It's important. And it is, I think, always somewhat of a hot topic, depending on who you ask. So we're talking about Black and brown women in mainstream culture. And primarily we're going to be talking about TV, because that's what we most that's what we do. We watch
Yeah,
we
we
watch a
watch
bunch of
things.
TV. We watch stuff and drink. And so
Yeah.
I drink and I know things. So I guess I know it. I said black and brown women, and I can't speak a whole lot for non-black women in mainstream um, culture and media. I can say a little, but I can't speak seriously. I can't really speak definitively on someone else's experience,
Right.
but I can say some things about black women in mainstream culture. And even though we mostly talk about TV, I mean, this counts for like fashion, for radio, for music, for movies, um, even in sports. I mean, it applies to everything, but we'll probably mostly talk about TV because, again, we like to watch TV.
Right.
So, one of the first things I thought about is how over the past few years, there's been a lot of sort of positive um, discussion and acknowledgement of um, Black women being the center characters, the central characters in a lot of TV shows. Well, maybe not a lot, but more than ever.
More than ever,
We've got
yes.
Scandal. So, Carrie is doing her thing with Scandal. And then we've got T.T. Viola on How to Get Away with Murder. And then I think either this was the last season or it's already ended. There was Gabrielle Union doing, what is it, Mary Jane?
Being Mary Jane.
I do not watch that show, but
It's decent,
that is
actually.
another example. And and then there's the young sister. I do not know who it is, and I do not watch that show. But there's the new Star Trek show where a sister, I think, is the captain of the ship, and of course that has never happened before on any Star Trek shows. So we are experiencing sort of this influx, at least in television, of Black women being the central characters on shows and shows that are popular, well received shows. So not just some old, weird niche show that comes on TV One that only, 37 Black people watch.
Some
I
Tyler
mean,
Perry shit.
right. None of that shit. This is like big network shows and whatever.
Right. Very
So
mainstream.
yeah. And so, I mean, that's clearly a big deal. That doesn't happen every day and shit. I think, as far as I know, it hasn't happened since Diane Carroll's show. What was that show called?
Julia.
Thank you, because I'm not old enough to know that. I do know about the show, but I've never seen it. She was is a nurse, right? And a single mom. And then she had a boo, though, didn't she?
Would you like TT Lily to give you the breakdown? She was a widowed mom. She was a nurse. She had a little boy. I don't remember a boo, but I don't remember it. I don't remember all of the plot twists. Her boy's name was, I don't know if her son's name was Corey or if the kid who played it was Corey, but yeah. It's Diane Carroll, so she's gorgeous.
Right.
In her crisp nurse outfit like nurses wore back in the day, with her adorable little well-behaved son, and she's out there doing the thing and holding it down. And then there was a doctor, a white man, who also was who she worked with. That was another main character. But yeah, that was pretty epic to me, and I was still little.
Yeah.
But to see a Black woman on her own TV show.
Right.
Man.
Right.
Please.
It was a
She
big
was
deal.
Everything. Yeah, she was everything.
And I only know, I know about Julia, just the basics. Like I said, all I knew was that she was a, single mom and a nurse. That's all I really knew. And I had to, do a little research. But I knew the show existed, but I've never seen it. And
you don't find it in reruns. I don't know if anybody plays Julia.
I've never heard of anybody watching reruns of it. I don't think it's on TV land.
No.
But that said, I mean, for it to have been all this time before we start to see it be a somewhat regular occurrence, that's lightweight shameful.
I think there was a hot moment in the 90s where we had a little something,
Yeah, we had
living
Living Single. Yeah.
girlfriends, and then whatever women who were on whatever other, Martin, shit, even the Steve Harvey show, that kind of thing, in Living Color. But
But
was
those are
still not what
predominantly
this
black
is.
cast. Yeah.
That's not what this is. Yeah, we're talking about black cast, not black female led character.
Right.
Black shows with a what's the lead character is a black female.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, I had to look it up. So Julia ran from 68 to 71.
Yeah.
Good grief, that was a really long time ago.
Yeah,
and
it was.
For it to have been all this time is, well, I think it's shameful. But
well, you know what? In between that was Get Christy Love. Do you remember that?
Absolutely not. But I know what it is. But no, I did not.
It didn't have a super long run. I'm looking it up. 1970. It was one season. 1974 to 1975.
Yeah, I was born in 74, so I definitely did not catch it.
But it was a thing for a moment.
Yeah.
And she was a cop.
Yep.
If I remember
she was
correctly. And that you don't ever see. You ain't gonna see no Christy Love, I don't think, not even on Centric.
No, all I've ever seen are maybe some memes and people like imitating her. Because was you under arrest, sugar, or something? I would hear people say, but I don't even remember that. I've never seen the show.
Oh boy!
And so now I'm wondering. I guess I wonder a few things, and one of the things I wonder at this point is it progress that we now have these shows where Black women are the central character? I mean, I guess it's certainly representation that we didn't have before, and I do like to turn on the TV and see myself or someone I know on screen. I appreciate seeing that. I don't want to get too excited because I don't want to act like a dog that's just been thrown a bone. But I'm glad to see these women on TV, and I'm glad to see multi-layered, characters, which I think, like I said, I don't watch Being Mary Jane, but I know a lot of people who do, so I know some things about the show. And she's certainly a complex character. Annalise Keating is a complex character. I mean, Olivia is a complex character. All the women, really. And even shows like Queen Sugar, which are a little bit different from the ones not really. They're sort of different because it's a predominantly Black cast, but even the women on that show are, multi-layered characters.
Yes, very much so.
And on none of those shows is it just some stereotype of Black women being presented to, the masses. So I appreciate that. It's not the usual, she's poor and she's worked 13 jobs to take care of her 2 or 3 children. And we don't know where the daddy is. Either he's dead or he just is in jail or he just sucks. So he doesn't help. Because even when I think about what's happening, Roger and Dee's daddy was just sorry. That's why that fool was. He was just sorry. And Miss Thomas had to work
in from time to time.
Yep, every now and then. And
I forgot they even had a dad until you said
well,
that.
Well, hell, they probably forgot too. And then he would flirt with the mom
Mm-hmm.
And Miss
Mm-hmm.
Thomas, she might wink for a minute, but then she be like, "Go on, fool," because
Okay.
I work 32 jobs to take care of these 2 children and to pay this house note. And what do
You ain't
you do? Nothing.
you ain't you ain't fixing to charm your way up under my skirt
Absolutely
again.
not. Absolutely not. You got me twice. You will not get me again.
Right. Right.
So I think about sort of the difference in the characters we've mentioned and what we've sort of always been presented with. And I mean, without question, Black women are all of the things, right? We are sometimes single parents with sorry baby daddies.
Mm-hmm.
And we are also um professional fixers. And
That is
we're
the truth.
also attorneys. And, I don't know what Mary Jane does on that show. I know she's a professional, but I don't know what she does because I don't
Mary
watch.
Jane is a television journalist.
See, we do all of those things, and we are also the woman who sometimes has to work 2 or 3 jobs, 2 or 3
Mm-hmm.
shitty jobs to make the pay of one shitty job to take
Mm-hmm.
care of some children that we're raising by ourselves. So it's good to see a range for a change because it does get tired seeing the same narrative all the time. So I can appreciate sort of the evolution of representation over time. Although there are still plenty of shows and characters written for Black women that do represent that same old tired ass stereotype.
True.
Um,
But
but
I do think it's gotten progressively better. And to
mhm,
me, it feels like there's just been this little wave,
mhm,
but the wave has been really insistent, like starting with, what is it? The fabulous Jessica? Is it Jessica James? I
yeah,
want to call her. So
yeah,
Jessica James, Insecure,
mhm,
She's Gotta Have It, Queen Sugar, Greenleaf,
right.
all of these. Well, She's Gotta Have It. Okay, so
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't know about three-dimensional, but these layered
Parts to her. Yeah,
characters.
yeah.
Um, she did,
I, I
but the writing anyway. And the other thing too that is I note when I'm thinking about, like, in these shows in particular, with the exception of She's Gotta
she
Have
got
It,
that too.
Habit. Ah, Freudian slip. She gotta have it. She's gotta have it. These characters in these
Mhm,
shows were created by Black women
mhm.
or run by Black women. So we
Right.
have made space for ourselves. We have made these opportunities and created spaces for ourselves. And one of the things that I was thinking about when we were, kind of preparing for this is, if we didn't, we'd
Yep.
still be relegated, I think,
Mhm.
to
Saucy side
supporting
chick.
cast, the best friend,
Mhm.
right, the
Mhm.
mama,
Mhm.
the prostitute, whatever. There wouldn't be this kind of representation and these kinds of characters because
Yep.
no one is looking out for us in that
Mhm.
way except
Mhm.
for
This is
us.
true.
And even that's not always the case, but in as far as this topic is concerned, that's very much been the case, which is somewhat
Right.
sad, but
We all we
hey, at
got
least we got
most
us.
of the time. Much of the time. Um
Okay. Okay. We got y'all.
Now
Y'all being us.
one of the things that is bothersome for me when in talking about brown women, right? What I often find with like television and film, but mostly television, because in an ongoing series, there's more of an opportunity for this to happen. I find if there is a brown woman on the show, then there won't be a Black woman on the show.
Hmm.
Um, but if
Oh
there's a
no, good
brown woman
Lord.
on the show,
No.
there's
No.
almost always a Black man on the show. But there's never going to
A Black
be a
man.
Black
That's right.
man and a Black woman because now you're just asking too much. And if there exists both a black man and a black woman on the show, they are not going to be a couple. That black man is inevitably going to hook up with either the brown girl or one of the white women. Um, so one thing I would definitely like to see more of, um, in shows that have a mixed cast, is more black relationships.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked at length like a week ago. I guess that was about a week ago. We talked about Beth and Randall on This Is
Mm-hmm.
Us, and how much we value that
Mm-hmm.
relationship and getting to see it. And I was just thinking how sad it is that it's rare for us to turn on a TV and see a black
Yeah.
relationship, a healthy black relationship. Because even with the shows we've been talking about, I know with Being Mary Jane, she got man issues.
Very
And there's a few different men, and it's
significant man
dramatic, and
issues.
it's
Yes.
messy,
Yes.
and it's ugly, and one is married, and I do know that about that show. And I think about Scandal, and
Mm-hmm.
Olivia shit is
Yep.
messy. For a long time you're in love with a man who had a wife and family, and then even now that he's single and somewhat available, you still can't really
And they
be a
tried it, but
couple.
remember they tried
And
it and that
then
shit didn't work out.
and they tried and it did not go well. And then now she's really too busy, I think, to be a
Mm.
girlfriend of anyone. So it's just a series of things that don't really pan out to be anything
She gets some booty
meaningful,
from
right?
time. She gets the
And
D from
then
time to time, and that's it.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I don't know that she'd have time really, but to devote to a boyfriend. But and then even with How to Get Away with Murder, Annalise had a husband, but now
He's
of course he's
dead.
been hella dead
Mm.
since season 1. And even when he was alive, he wasn't right. And so and he was a white guy. And then she's had Nate, who
Is that the cop?
looks really good without his
Is that the
shirt.
cop? Yeah.
Huh? Yes. Yep, that's the cop. But they're not a couple. So these women they're alone. So I would like to see, um, I mean, I realize the premise of those shows I mentioned aren't necessarily made for, being a
Happy,
showcase of
healthy
black
relationship.
love
Yeah.
and dating. Yeah, I mean, I do get that. But in general, I would like to see black relationships, um, for a lot of these women who are central characters on shows. Um, I wish it wasn't so rare. Before we started recording today, I was talking to you about how some shows I quit watching because I
Mm-hmm.
was tired of seeing the black women characters passed over, ignored. Either they turn us into either we're hypersexual or our sexuality is completely removed and we're ignored. So that we're just a mother, or we're just an employee, or we're just
Right.
a sidekick. We don't have any kind of appeal. And like I said, if there's a black male character on the show, he's not going to be talking to our black asses. Kind of like real life. But anyway,
Oh God.
I don't turn on the TV for real life.
That's right, damn it. It's supposed to be escapism. Especially in
Like,
California, especially in Sacramento. Come on, man.
right,
Yeah.
right. And I recently watched the Sight movie, and I love Sight, and I was excited to see the Sight movie, and of course I loved it, and it was hilarious and all of that. But what is it? Dule Hill's fiance was in the Sight movie and played his um nutty, very nutty love interest. Um, but what I realized, which I did notice while Psych was still airing, really, was the character of Gus didn't have any black girlfriends.
Not surprised.
He never really had a girlfriend. Well, he had one girlfriend that I can recall, but all the women were non-black. Everybody that he would light up for, see somebody walking down the street, it was never a black woman. And I noticed when I was watching the show, and I didn't like it, but it didn't make me stop liking the show. But I was always disappointed by that. So for them to put his real life fiance, who was a black woman in the movie, I appreciated it, and I thought, finally he gets to have a relationship, even if the woman's crazy. And then two, it's a black woman. Because why couldn't it ever be?
That is refreshing.
So, and I always feel a little annoyed that I have to get excited about that and that it isn't regular like it should be, and like I said, there are shows I have quit watching because I already knew as soon as they introduced the black male character to the show
what was going to happen,
where it's going, and I'll just be like, oh hell, let me just take this out of my DVR because I already know.
There are times though
I'm
when I feel like I should anticipate it, but I don't, and then it's like cold water in my face. There's this show on Hulu called Casual, and I really like it because those fools are crazy and they do all kind of out-of-pocketry and they're hella dysfunctional. And there's a supporting character who's black. He's a friend of the main male character. It's about a brother and a sister and her daughter, right? So the brother has this black friend. He's British, real quiet kind of cat, low key, blah, 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 blah. First, he ends up sleeping with the sister, and he likes her, but she's fresh out of a divorce and crazy and just fucking to, get her fuck legs back, right? Like her sea legs, trying to get back with the program.
Yeah.
And then ultimately, he falls in love with and gets married to her assistant, the sister's assistant, who is also white. They show his ex, who looks some kind of, I don't know, exotic, but it could be a combination of anything. Like she's got dark hair, but very fair skin, whatever. Not black. And it's like, okay, you can he ever date he never dated a black woman though? We're not going to show him with no black women because that's not an option for this successful black man in LA. That he should just be, that he should be interested in a black woman. And it just feels, and when it's in a show that you've been just trucking along, liking it,
right?
It just feels so dismissive. And it feels like, especially having the experiences we just said that one has as a black woman in certain places and spaces. It just reinforces what sometimes feels like your abject invisibility and your lack of qualifications as a viable option for a black man to be interested in, because why would he? He has all of these other options. I felt the same way about Frankie and Grace.
Oh my gosh, Ernie broke my heart.
I don't even know. And I don't know who. I love Frankie and Grace because it's a good show. And because they really do a good job of showing how life still continues much in the ways that they were when you were younger, even when you're older, right? So I love it so much for that. But when Lily Tomlin's character started dating Ernie Hudson to the point where he was basically in love with her, oh my gosh, I was so... And I know that there are some people who are probably like, why? Why is that an issue? Why would you care? Because listen, even in young age, it just felt like, oh, okay, so here, even when I'm old, I'm single. Ain't but a teaspoon's worth of
They
men
still
gonna
ain't
be
gonna be
out there.
checking for
So
me.
you mean to tell me even then I'm gonna be over in the corner while Margaret is out here with what's an old black man's name? I don't know. Yeah,
Cleophas.
her. She's that's gonna be the move, really. And I've only seen one black female character on Frankie and Grace for a hot second. It was I think somebody
I was
had
gonna
a
say,
book
where
club,
was
and it was
she?
Vernee Watson. Vernee Watson played Will Smith's mother in The Fresh Prince.
Oh yeah, I know her.
And it was I wanted.
Oh yeah, they had that. It was like a churchy
Yes,
kind of
and
book club.
they were trying to sell the vibrators or
That's
something,
when those
and pearls
vibrators.
were
Yep.
clutched. And I want to say Vernee Watson was one of the pearl
Yes.
clutchers, and that is all we
Yes,
saw
she was.
of her. So Ernie Hudson gets this whole rich storyline, farmer and shits and love and whatnot.
Yep.
With Lily Tomlin.
And her adopted son,
that too,
who is black, falls for some old bootsy ass white woman who nobody likes because she isn't likable. Oh my gosh.
So
when both of those things annoyed me, and I do like that show, but I was bothered. I was bothered because I think I just feel so pelted with it as it is. So I'm like, I can't even turn on like some regular white woman shit about old white women and get away from this.
Can't.
It's just in my face no matter what. Like I stopped watching back in the day, Parenthood,
with Michael B. Jordan,
which I thought was a good show, and I did like that show. The minute Michael B. Jordan showed up on that show, I knew what was going to happen, and
it did
quit.
happen.
And it did happen. And I remember coming over to your house way back then when it was airing, and you wanted to show me the scene of he and the daughter hooking up because it fit a conversation we were having, right? And I told you I did not want to look at that shit. I mean, when I tell you that shit hurt my feelings, I was literally hurt, bothered, disgusted, appalled, whatever you want to call it. I was salty about the shit because I was like, come on. There's nothing but white people on this show. If you bring one black boy, and of course he got to fall all over this little white girl for fucking real. Like, give me a break. Why can't and of course he's a bit of a thug. He needed tutoring and he needed this and that. Oh my gosh, that shit was so whack to me. And that is when I quit watching that show. I never made it to the two of them actually linking up because I knew from jump, anytime they introduce a black man to a predominantly white show, it is so that he can fawn over some white woman. That's what it always is. Or if he's gay, it's so he can fawn over some white man. That's what it always is. And I just I could not do it. And because I was fond of him, not like he's not a celebrity crush of mine.
He's a
I just
talented
like
guy.
him. And I was like, I was like, I'm not going to watch him do this. I'm not. I do not have it in me. And so I didn't. And I never watched that show again. I even Supergirl, which just isn't really to me a very good show. But Jimmy Olsen is played by a black character. I can't think of that brother's name. Makai? I don't know. Whatever. I can't think of his name right now. But he's the black guy, and of course they have the liking for each other. And then back when I did watch, they tried and it just went wonky. It didn't really quite work out the way they thought. So they went their separate ways. And I don't know if anything's happened since then because when they tried, I stopped trying. So I was just like, I just don't feel like it. I don't feel
You
like
know
it with
what?
y'all.
On
I'm
the
tired.
shallow tip, I'm just gonna go ahead and confess this because it's true. So it's one thing when the black man, you like you said, they bring him on and you know what it is, and that's how it goes down.
Yeah.
But in the case of Parenthood, I was also offended because that girl was not cute to me. And her personality was not even
I
cute.
she wasn't
No,
particularly
and
awesome kid.
this is, and so this is who you just lose your shit over. This is the be all, end all romantic love.
Yeah.
Similarly,
Yeah.
remember I told you I watched that movie I don't remember what the name of the movie was, but it was on Ava DuVernay's, on her IG. She had posted this list of, these are movies to watch that somehow she's connected with, and it was a movie with an African actor whom I'm not very familiar with, and Mamie Gummer. And
Oh
listen,
God.
she, and
Yeah.
that, first of
Ew.
all, she's just a very wan, limp looking girl in the first place to me. In this movie, her wardrobe was very kind of J. Crew with a little bit more eclectic than that. Kind of preppy, but she's just as beige as she could be, and this character was beige across the board. And this black man with this beautiful skin and this lovely body and this charming accent. Like the day that they meet, it's a wrap, basically. They don't portray it like that, but that's basically what happens.
Yes.
And then the montage, them doing things and hanging out and having the sex and blah, 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 blah. And the whole time I was watching, and it's exactly the kind of movie that that I typically like. It's just kind of quiet, little slice of life, whatever, little independent film. I just was so irritated because and again, her character she wasn't spectacular in any way. She was charming enough. Like there's a little boy in the movie and they have a bond, not his little boy, but his friend's little boy. They get a little bond. That's cute. But there is nothing in the way that the character was written that explained their immediate attraction and connection to each other. And Mamie Gummer has the limpest, finest, raggediest blonde hair.
That hair.
If ever anybody needed a couple of tracks, it's her. And I was so extra bothered because it's like you're in the grocery store and you're in front of the ice cream case and there's all the shit, the Ben and Jerry's and the Haagen-Dazs and the dryers and all of the shit that's organic and whatnot now, and the new like ice cream flavors that are amazing and delicious. And you went and got some Safeway brand vanilla. This was your shit. You scooped it out and put it in a bowl and you sat there and ate it with your toes curling like it was the best treat ever. Vanilla. Not good vanilla, not French vanilla.
Nope. Not French vanilla or French vanilla bean.
And not the little shits that's delicious and creamy with the... You got the generic brand, the house brand from the grocery store, which tastes like plastic in your mouth. That's what you got. That's what you... I'm telling you, I was so sore about it. And and what it feels like, if I may, I have a friend whom you know who once described sex with a man with a small penis as feeling like he was being erased. Do you know her, Malik? And that is what this is like. It's like being erased. It is. It is like being removed from the equation of life, of romance, of of attractiveness, like I said, of viability as a romantic interest, a sex interest, a life partner to Black men over and over and over again. So even if you're someone who doesn't mind interracial dating, I don't mind interracial dating. I don't.
Right. That ain't the
Get it
issue.
how you live.
That's not the issue.
But when I, an avid TV watcher, even now, not even as much as I used to be, but am trying to enjoy myself, have a little escapism. And I see situations where in my life, it's possible that that might be somebody who looks like me, but it's not, and it keeps not being somebody like me. I am being erased. I'm being removed from the picture entirely. And that shit is hurtful and it is tiresome. Period.
And it, you said that because that my very next statement was going to be about feeling erased, just disregarded, and it's a. I think it bothers me most because to me it's a reinforcement of real life. I watch TV or films that are fictional, mostly as an escape or a way to even stretch my own imagination. And to watch it and experience the same thing that I experience when I go outside bothers me. I don't need this fantasy to mirror an unfortunate part of my reality. And I take that erasure of Black women as viable love interests personally because I am a Black woman. And to me, it's reinforcing an idea that's already untrue and unfair, but super pervasive. And so for them to, come out and sort of just reinforce that, that's right, nobody wants your Black ass. I don't need that. I already feel that anyway. And not only that, I know for damn sure Black love is real. I know that because I see it among people I know and I live it for myself. I know it's real. But to be constantly told it isn't real or that I'm not valid, I'm not attractive, I'm not desirable, and no one like me is, bothers the shit out of me. I want to see representations of all walks of Black life when I turn on the TV or go into the movie theater. And as much as I think we benefit from the types of shows we've mentioned, I still feel we're definitely falling short in that area where are we're always sort of a throwaway. Even when we're on a show, when have you seen a show where it's some white man just going crazy over this Black woman?
I was gonna
Not
say
Scandal. That doesn't count. And not even How to Get Away with Murder. Not that she and her husband were definitely not those people, but it's not a norm. I have seen 2 commercials in the past month or so that were white men, biracial wives who were clearly Black. And I was literally shocked to, to see that on a commercial. I was like, wait, is that a Black woman? Was it? Huh. I don't even see that. And it isn't me, this isn't me saying that I just wish the white man wanted all of us because I don't give a damn about that.
But parody is
I
parody,
just
and it would be nice to see
wish
the shoe on the other foot.
that's
you
right.
know.
It would be. It would be, and it never is. I did recently watch 9JKL, which is the show with what's his name? The dude who did the show about the concierge doctor in the
Oh,
Hamptons.
shoot. What was that
That little
called?
dude's name.
I know who you're talking
Mark
about.
something. But anyway, 9JKL is this his new sitcom, and his parents are Elliot Gould and
Oh, wow.
Linda Lavin.
That
yes,
sounds
super
cool.
Jewish parents. Their characters are fun. It's a funny show to me, but that's interesting because his brother's wife is Asian, and he's single, recently divorced, and so he's just hung out with a few women since the show has started. It's just the first season, but he did hook up with a black woman on one of the shows, and I was just like, oh, he's seeing somebody else, and I was like, wait a minute, that's a black woman. Like this is unheard of. I don't see this in TV. So I thought that was interesting. They really ended up being not exactly a one night stand, but short term because she had intentions of moving out of state.
Feuerstein.
So,
Mark Feuerstein. Is that his name?
I know it starts with an F.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
You know
sounds
what?
about
I want
right.
to say that there is a show, so the Mindy Project, which is hugely problematic with regard to her own ethnicity.
Yeah, I quit watching.
And because she's always with white men. But there is a nurse on there, two nurses, a black woman and a black man, because it's over now. The series is over. They messed around and then she broke up with him. And then she decided she wanted to get pregnant because the actress is pregnant in real life. And she ended up getting pregnant by him and not knowing it. And he had been mooning over her since they broke up. But she was like, man, don't nobody have time. But they fall in love and they get married at the end of the show. That was a nice twist. And it kind of made a nice counterbalance to Mindy's whitewashed ass, because I would really be interested. And I've read a piece or two, but I would like to talk to someone who's South Asian and be like, what do you think about this shit? Because it would piss me the fuck off entirely. Entirely. So that was one show where, yes, there was a white man who was crazy about a black woman. And first she was like, nah, come on somewhere. And then they end up falling in love. And he is as happy as he can be. Well, she is too, but you know.
I think I've only seen it on now I can't remember the name of the show, but it's already been canceled anyway. But it was maybe one or two seasons. It had Peter Krause and that Miriam, whatever that woman was who was on shit. What was the name of the show that I actually watched?
I have a feeling I know
How come I
it.
can't remember? She's married to the dude who played Cameron in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I know all kinds of random shit, but can't think of her
I know who
name.
you're talking about, but I don't know who you're talking about.
I'm full of random information. I don't know. But anyway, the show, he had a business partner who was a black woman, and she was divorced. But the ex-husband was white, and he was always still trying to get back in there. But like I said, things like that are rare. I don't see it very often.
You know, another black couple, and I don't give it a whole lot of shine because it's a comedy, but they do, hold it down. Is on Blackish. Their love is because it's a comedy. It does not at all have the same weight as Randall and Beth, but it's not always keys. Like, they do address some issues, and as much as they are not an odd match, they are a very solid couple.
Yeah.
And, with the little family and everything, and the extended family, too, because both of his parents are there with them.
Yeah. And that's no
and they're
easy
divorced.
thing.
And sometimes they hate each other, and sometimes they be kikiing and tipping with each other. Yeah.
Because, well, I mean, it's in house. Why
Sometimes
not
they be
just
sometimes it's an off and on thing. But they do a good job, those two. I lost my train of thought.
I agree. The cat. That's the name of the damn show. I could
Okay,
not think of the name of the show, but and all I could think of was Peter Krause. Muriel
I'm
Enos. I
looking
don't
at
know.
it now.
And don't ask me why I know she's married to Cameron from
I just found that out. She's
stupid that I know
super
that.
pale.
But anyway,
Is she a ginger?
yeah. A
little bit.
I can't tell. It's also
where do I know
so
her
white.
from? Now I gotta look and see where I know her from because she's hella familiar.
She's on the show about they investigate a murder like every show.
Oh, The Killing.
I mean, not every show, every season.
I don't watch The Killing.
Thank you.
Though.
I could not. Oh, well, damn it, you should have.
Big Love?
It's not too late. You watch that. That's great.
So good.
But anyway, I think we're out here now, but I would like to see us
not just in shows, not just in black shows, which is amazing and wonderful.
Yes.
But better representation across the board so that when I see a black man on a show and he announces, I'm going to introduce you to my girlfriend tonight, my spidey senses don't start tingling as I anticipate the blonde woman that's going to be on his arm in the next scene, you know? Or he has a whole bunch of white friends and they want to set him up. And of course, they want to set him up with a white woman.
Of course they do, because that's what everybody needs.
So, yes. So, love what's happening.
Yeah, I would just like to see us more often.
Out a little bit.
And it is also okay for more than one minority woman to be in a place at the same time. That's
I know it happens.
Mine too. Mine too. So that would be nice too. That one doesn't have to cancel out the other. Oh, we already have someone who isn't white, so that's enough. Cut it out. You can actually have more than one at a time.
You won't be darkening up my set with your darkies.
Too much melanin here. We have to get rid of it.
Too much dusky exoticness for me. Blah. I don't know who talks like that, but that's what it sounds like.
So I did not prepare a shout out because I really couldn't think of who or what I wanted to shout out. I just had nothing. So I guess I'm just gonna shout out y'all who listen to this little podcast. Thank you for listening for another season. Hang in with us. We have some exciting stuff that's going to happen this season. It's going to be a little different. We're going to have a few guests pop in. It's going to be cool. We're going to do a few interviews this season. And we're going to establish a decent YouTube presence. So that's going to be interesting. But anyway, follow us on Instagram, Tackling Tom Fool. They wouldn't let us be great, so it ended at Tom Fool. Just rude. Tackling Tom Fool on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter, Tackling Tomfoolery. And, of course, on Facebook. And then keep listening to us wherever, I hate when people say, wherever you listen to your podcast. But whatever. I mean, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, SoundCloud. I think that's it.
Get us how you live.
Yeah,
however you can find us.
We out there.
Get us.
So get to us. And so shout out to y'all for listening to us. You had a shout out though, Sam.
That doesn't seem right. This is a nice period at the end of the sentence.
All right. Shout out to y'all for listening, and there it is there. So Thank you so much.
Right.
I am Malika Rogers.
And I'm A.M. Lewis.
Y'all be
Peace
easy.
out, y'all.
The revolutionary wants to change the nature of society in a way to promote a world where the needs and interests of the people are responded to.
Yeah, I like it.
No matter how much money you have, no matter how big you are, how famous you are, like they will still end up stealing your charger and your lighter.
What I'm not going to do is comfort you.
Because they never understand black love. It's black wealth.
Yeah, I like it.
What I'm not going to do is comfort you.
Hey, fellow tacklers. We thank you so much for listening to our show. If you're interested in supporting us, we would be ever so grateful. You can donate to the Tackling Tomfoolery podcast at patreon.com/Tackling Tomfoolery.
Tackling Tomfoolery is produced by Bren Inman for Evergreen Talent Collective. For more information, find us on the web at www.tacklingtomfoolery.com, on Facebook at Tackling Tomfoolery, and on Twitter and Instagram. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, or SoundCloud, and make sure you rate and review the show, as that helps people find us. If you'd like to contact the show, email us at tacklingtomfoolery@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail at 916-573-1065. Let us know what tomfoolery you're tackling. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.